Game number 3 in the series, MMA versus Live here at the Ritmix RSL. We are looking at our first quarterfinal game, guys, and this is game 3. MMA in game number 2 on Neo Planet S was able to come back into the series. Live defeated him on our first map today, but MMA, he equalized the score and is now trying to take the lead in this series. We have him to the left side of Red City, a pretty sick map if I can say here. To the bottom left we have the Terran player, and starting to the bottom right we have the Startail Zerg. This is Live, who started with the 10 pool in game number 2 and is also starting with the 10 pool in game number 3, and on a 4-player map. This is a pretty sick opening. I mean, as I said earlier, I'm not the biggest fan of a 10 pool opening, the reason being quite simple. When you build your command center first on the high ground, you're completely fine as a Terran. If you build it on the low ground, on the other hand, then you are screwed. And Live has a pretty cool scout. The Overlord is going into the right direction already. He has to send a drone scout as well. That's going to leave fairly soon. But that is actually very aggressive. I did not expect him to go into the same build once again. So he lost with it in game number 2, and MMA is never going to expect that he's up against the same strategy again. I could really see MMA with a command center on the low ground. He already did that in game number 1, and game number 1 was on a 4-player map. So that is nope, it looks like it's going to be on the high ground. Yep, he builds it on the high ground. MMA is gonna be fine. He is going to be fine here, and Live will not be happy to see what's happening here. He gambled a little bit, he tried to play the mind games, he was looking at the map and he was like, dude, you might have hold on a 2-player map, but you never ever are going to expect me to do the same strategy again on a 4-player map. You are gonna build that command center on the low ground, and you know it. And now the Overlord moves in, and Live is gonna be like, foo me. Yeah. It's gonna be like foo 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 foo. That is not gonna work well. Here comes the expand, of course, and he's moving in once again, but that wall is gonna hold. That wall is gonna hold, and MMA will once again be ahead in the series. And I have to highlight it once more. If you start that pool at 8 or at 7, you can force a cancel on the command center. You can force a cancel here, but if you go into 10, it's just too long. He's doing what he can. I mean, he's at least killing one of the SCVs now, and he's trying to maybe even break through here at the supply depot, but that is not gonna work. And therefore, a big issue here for Live, that he's going to fall behind once again. He's trying, but the Marine is going to put an end to those shenanigans, and MMA is just probably just looking at his screen. He's like, he just buys a cat so that he can stroke it with one arm, being the mastermind that he is right now. And he has the time to do it. I mean, he can just leave his PC right now, buy a cat, stroke it a little bit for a picture, get a laugh out there, and then come back, and he would still be ahead in the series. So for Live, it's more the question what his follow-up is going to be. Because, to be quite frank, I could see Live just go for a really aggressive follow-up now that we have him with the gas. He might just try to go for some kind of bust. He could go for a bust, like maybe we have him with a Roach Baneling bust, maybe just goes for some Baneling aggression. But for Live, this is now a scenario where he looks at the game and is like, well, that didn't work out. So I guess I have to come up with some kind of idea how I can just take him out. And I don't know how. Like MMA showed in the second game that he is willing to play the late game coming from this position, and why wouldn't he? He's ahead. But Live maybe is able to punish him for being a bit too greedy. There comes the starport again. Thank God we don't have the armory this time. I mean, Hellbats, MMA apparently didn't get the memos that they are not really all that great these days after the patch. So he probably looked at the game, he's like, what? I thought those guys were awesome. I thought, like, you have to build those to win. They suck now? Oh, okay, I'm not going to build that anymore. Thanks for the heads up. So now he's going into the Cloak Banshee, apparently. At least we have the tech lab here on the starport, so in this situation I would actually assume that we are going to see a Banshee play. And with Cloak, he can do quite a lot here. But Live goes into a really fast tech into layer, even before he goes into speed. So he is really, really trying to edge out a tech advantage over his opponent. And that will help him. And surprise, surprise! We have the starport. As Docs would have said in Dexter, and I'm only quoting here, these are not my words. Surprise, motherfucker! So, here comes the cloak upgrade. But we currently see the lair tech for Life nearly completed, and that means that Life is going to find out what's happening here. He will morph this into an Overseer, and then just move in to see this, and with the fast Mutalisk play that we have, if you go into such a play, it's either going to be Mutalisk or you're going to hit some kind of sick timing with Infestors. But with the Mutalisks out, he should actually be able to shut down that Banshee quite easily once he gets this section into the game. So, let's see. Currently, Overlord not being morphed, so he won't have he won't see anything. He's saving that gas instead. He wants to get more Mutalisk into the game. And you know, that timing could work. With the normal timing, you have your Mutalisks out on your opponent's base roughly at 11 minutes. This is going to hit a little bit faster. And maybe he can make this work. There we have the Spine Crawlers. Spine Crawlers are awesome against Hellbats. They suck a little bit against Banshees. Not really the unit, the building that you want to have out there. But let's see how he can deal with this. Needs to have an Overseer. I would love to see that Overseer. Cloak not done just yet. Live gambling a little bit here. Taking that third base, and also the Hellions now on the map. Trying to get a little bit closer and pull it off. But Zerglings already saw it. Has he seen that Spire? I do not think so. Oops, my bad, wrong hotkey. No, he didn't see anything. Didn't see anything, but now the Banshee moves in and he's like, oh my god. He's like, no, nothing. Okay, now he's gonna see, right? Yeah, okay, here we go. And let's have a quick look into the main base. Double engineering bay immediately. So we are gonna have some anti-air, and he's gonna get some bunkers up because he knows, well, my missile turrets won't be in time. I need something else, so the anti-air that I have, that is gonna be my bunker, and then I'm able to defend against the Mutalisks. Life sacrifices a lot of economy to get the tech out on the map. I might not be able to harass him with my Banshee anymore, and not even with my Hellions, but at least I'm not gonna suffer any kind of losses in terms of SCVs, so I'm gonna be completely fine. Looking at the numbers here, we have a lead in Harvesters for the Terran player, and this is a position where you never want to be in as a Zerg. Why is that? Because Terrans have mules, and in case you didn't know, mules are pretty epic. So with triple command center, triple orbital, triple mule, this is a significant lead for MMA now. And we already have those missile turrets out there, so Life is not going to do anything with those Mutalisks. And think about what else he sacrificed. He delayed this third base for a long time, but he also is just now getting the double evolution chamber, and we have MMA already going in 1-1 upgrades. So Life is behind in every single aspect of the game. He's behind in economy, he's starting to fall behind in tech very fast, and we have MMA with everything that he needs. The only thing where Life is currently ahead is the supply, and that is not going to last long. I can already tell you this much. This is not gonna last for a very long time. And now even the Banshee is getting additional kills. He had the third base, 7 kills already. That's a Banshee that definitely paid off. The cloak upgrade only costs 100, so if you didn't catch the last upgrade, the last update, the patch for StarCraft 2, we had the cloak upgrade being reduced from 200 down to 100, so it's much better here. And now even the third base is already being taken by MMA. He's a bit supply blocked, so he needs to hit those supply depots a little bit better. Life already knows about that third base, that's why he moves back for now. But in this scenario, MMA he has the perfect position and no worry in the world. Life, on the other hand, if given time, he is the man who will be able to come back into this game. That's something that we have seen countless times in so many different tournaments, but it's not going to be easy. This is going to be a very uphill battle for him now. And he is just trying to make it work because of the map dominance that he had for a little bit. It's not going to work for too long. The Marines here are going to move in very soon. They have now the combat shield, and the 1-1 is going to kick in. So then he can be sure to just take his third base without any problems at all. That is what MMA has to do. Life is a bit faster with his third. What I really would like to see for MMA later on, not just now, is a second starport. First of all, to get those medevacs out a little bit faster. That was a constant problem in game number 1 and also in game number 2. He was not really in the best position. Much better than game number 1, don't get me wrong. But it was still a little bit tricky for him. So a bit of an earlier starport, a second starport would be cool. Also to catch the transition later. Very much exposed here, those mules. But he knows about the position of the Mutalisk, and that's why he used it like that. The Viking is still trying to find overlords on the map. Life with good creep spread, that's definitely an asset. And we have him now with a third base, fully saturated here on 16. With 16 harvesters on minerals, you get the perfect saturation. That's like the optimum. 24 is a little bit better. You get higher income, but in terms of income per drone, 16 is the best. This is why you see most Zerg players go for 16. Double Banshee now really starting to grind out some kills here. On the other hand, those boys are doing damage. 10 and 7. Oh my god, that's really good. And even scouting the space. Gonna fall here. But that was definitely worth it. The Mutalisk numbers, on the other hand, 23. That's pretty cool. We should see the Thor once again. I would be very surprised to not see MMA with a Thor. He built it in 2 games now. If he doesn't get a Thor when he's up against 23 Mutalisks, that would be like, what? But he's moving out with his army. And talking about his army, 100 supply against 80, so 20 supply army lead. But still, like, to be completely honest, that army is nice, but Life can crush this. This is something where he can hold. I really like that MMA is taking down so many of the creep tumors, though. Not afraid to drop a scan here. Really important for him. And the +2/+2 is also more than halfway done. Life just started his upgrades. There we have him moving in, and the hits with those Widow Mines, but the Balings getting decent hits up, but they're just not enough. The snipes on the Medivacs are so epic. Oh my god! Life! This guy is doing so much with those Mutalisks. Really, this is amazing how he's able to win those fights. And not only the fights, how he takes down those Medivacs. I cannot believe that MMA, he just doesn't care about Medivacs. Most Terran players really love their Medivacs. MMA is just like, I hate this unit. This unit sucks. And he doesn't care about them at all. Like, if he would be a carrying Medivac commander, he would chrono boost them away, but Life is sniping them every single time. That's the one thing that you can't afford as a Terran player, losing the Medivacs. Losing a Marine every now and then, that is not gonna matter to you at all, because, like, let's face it, those guys are a dime a dozen. So, the Medivacs is what's really expensive, and he just doesn't get them. And this is exactly why MMA should just by default, he should be forced, he should like have in his contract, dude, if you don't build a second starport against Zerg, we are gonna fine you. You're gonna get a fine. You need double starports against Zerg. Especially when you're on 3 bases. So we might see that a little bit later. But currently we have the 4th command center finishing up. And you know, Life is actually getting into a decent position here. Like, the Thor is now coming into play. I would have expected that a little bit earlier. I mean, I mentioned it before, but he's getting it after all. The +2/+2 is still trailing behind, and he will also fall behind in the 3-3. But this is a better position than on Neo Planet S. Like, he's still not, like, he's not super ahead or anything. He's still behind in this game. He's behind in upgrades right now. We have him behind in army supply. But he's getting there, you know. He has like 4 bases now. The 4th is not too exposed. The Terran player is very limited to the middle of the map. His movements are a little bit slower. Life is just trying to make this mobility work for him. So Life is really starting to stabilize in this game, and he has to start this infestation pit and go into the hive tech. That would be really important for him. But already finishing +2/+2 and being on even footing with a Terran player is gonna do a lot. That attack on the 3rd is actually doing a significant amount of damage. If he goes in from a different angle with the Mutalisk, he's gonna snipe this. He could actually just take down those missile turret. I'm not quite sure why he doesn't do it. Moves in, takes down this. No. Moves back with the Mutalisk, was probably just busy defending over there, but lost a fair share of Mutalisk there too. Still worth it though to take out that base, so that was still something that was pretty cool for him. Looking now at the Medivacs, they are dropping here, and nice hits with the Widow Mine, the first one at least, but the Marines are now struggling against the Banelings, and Life is once again taking down Medivacs. He takes down 1, he takes down 2, he kills the 3rd, the Banelings move in against the Marines, and MMA is falling behind. And not just a little bit. MMA is really behind in this game now. He gets those upgrades out, and these are his biggest asset. But he only started the +3 attack upgrade, no armor upgrade. And Life can anytime just start his own infestation pit. He restricted his opponent on basically 3 bases, but we don't even have gas at that 3rd. So MMA is starting to throw this game away a little bit. 3 Medivacs with 60 Marines. Like, Fred, seriously, if you're currently watching, you need to like put into MMA's contract that he needs to build a second starport. That just doesn't fly. I mean, at this point, it's actually difficult for him to afford all of that. But with 1,000 gas on the bank, you still can go into that quite easily to a double starport play. Here comes that infestation pit that we talked about. Lings running in from the right side while the Mutalists are doing a decent job against the Marines. And once again, that Medivac is not going to survive. He should just afterburn this back. Oh, thank you. Now he's doing it. I like it. Okay, that's much better. And then he stops. Okay, still surviving. But another base coming up here to the top right. So Life is really macroing the hell out of this map. Even defending now this base here to the top. +3 is kicking in for MMA now, and that really helps him. With a +3 attack upgrade, he's gonna have a significant lead for some time. But I don't think he realized that he didn't start +3 armor. I think that was actually like a slight mistake. I really think he just missed it. And here comes the hive tech, and guess what? There's only 2 missile turrets here. What are we doing with 2 missile turrets when we have... Okay, with the Marines it's different stories. But 2 missile turrets against 27 Mutalisks and +2 attack. I mean, you do the math. That is not something where you have a lot of safety as a Terran. Now he's building additional ones and he needs them. The Mutalisks definitely saved that base. They already have the +2 attack upgrade, by the way, so for the hit and run they are perfect. Yeah, but here comes the hive tech. Still Zerglings everywhere on the map. We have Lava has enough to get his 200 supply here. And suddenly it's a 40 supply lead for the Zerg player. Resources lost. Not really in his favor, but it's pretty damn close. And those Marines are still with very little medivac support. 4 medivacs for this many Marines! I'm like, dude, what are you thinking? Like, seriously, every sim is gonna hurt him, like, so much. Look at those units, like, they're trying to heal, but they are just not enough, and the next stim is gonna hurt him even more. One bailing hit in such an army, and you are, like, done for. There comes another stim. He's using another one, he's moving in, he's not doing too much right here. Here come the Zerglings, bam. He needs to stim again, he's already low on energy. Here comes the +3 armor upgrade, so he realized that he forgot about that earlier. I'm pretty sure he's tried to start both. MMA is a really good player. He would have not, like, intentionally just started one and completely neglected the other one with the resources that he had. But Life, look at that production tab right now. +3, even the 3rd attack upgrade for the Flyers. We have Adrenal Glands being started. So that is gonna be pretty tough for MMA to deal with if those upgrades finish. And here comes the Zerg players, a little behind supply, trying to get the upgrades out first. MMA needs to... I actually feel he needs to win it now. I might be a little bit too harsh in my judgment here, or a little bit too fast with this, but I think if MMA doesn't win the game before these upgrades are done, or at least do a lot of damage before these upgrades are done, I don't think he can win this game anymore. If the Zerg player is on 3-3 and Adrenal Glands, Burrow, and +3 for the Mutalisks, I don't think MMA is gonna do a whole lot in this game any longer. At least not the way that he plays. We see very few drops and very few multi-pronged attack in this game. Life is attacking the 3rd. Oh my god, he tried to bust the planetary, but just barely not able to do it. The army at the top with decent Widowmine hits once again, but mostly hitting those overseers, so he's not really hitting the Mutalisk, and that's what he wants to take down. We have an army at the bottom, but he doesn't use that. He's so focused on this main battle up here that he doesn't really send them in. Now he hits that stim and moves in right away. But we have Life trying to force this back, and here come those additional Zerglings. The Mutalisk numbers are dwindling, since the focus is much better for MMA, but he's losing all of those, starting to save his medivacs, and this base is exposed. We have a Spine Crawler or 2, and that delays the attack a little bit, but Life is still at 150 against 150, and Adrenal Glands is already done, so this gives him also a little bit of an edge here. That helps him a lot. Mutalisk numbers are now to 16. More units just rallied across the map. Also a Thor. That base is gone, but there were no mineral patches left anyways. It was more important for the production. But the Mutalisks are gonna get those +3 upgrades very soon. MMA is on a clock here, and he's actually executing a lot of pressure. MMA is trying to win this thing right now. He knows that he starts to be a little bit in trouble. He cannot afford to fall too far behind in this game, and he is trying to win it right now, up against the Spore Crawlers. Widow Mines everywhere. That Thor exposed, and he can't afford that. Once again, trying to bring it to safety, and this time it looks a lot better. Where's the magic box? He's trying to snipe the medivac. There we go. The Mutalisk numbers are falling. He's not able to snipe the Thor, and so many Mutalisks are gone. Life is down in supply. 3-3 just now, barely able to hit, but it might be a little bit too late for him to make this happen. And there's the GG. MMA just barely able to win that game before Life hits his 3-3-3 upgrades. That was so close, boy. Oh my god, a 2-1 for MMA, and I swear to you, if MMA doesn't finish that game before 3-3-3 is through and Life and himself are still on even supply, Life takes this. Easy! But MMA comes back into the series, he takes it with a 2-1 and is up in the best of 5 in the Ritmix RSL against Life.